1. FC Köln strengthens on the offensive and borrows Faride Alidou from Eintracht Frankfurt. The 22-year-old was used 15 times, an assist, in the Bundesliga last season and 5 times in the Champions League. 1 goal. The sports club has signed Maximilian Philipp. The 29-year-old from Wolfsburg will first return to Freiburg by loan, where he started his professional career. Portland Timbers part ways with head coach Giovanni Savarese. Manchester United forced to axe Greenwood after backlash.
Germany's DFL forged emergency plan for the allocation of TV rights. 7 years ago, DFL made contracts for 1.1 to 1.5 billion euro from TV soccer rights, and in 2022, 4.4 billion euros in Sky and DAZN domestic TV rights deal for 4 years.
Hacker Dilgadi is sentenced to 20 years in prison for invading cell phones from Lava Jato, car wash operation authorities and leaking messages. In Operation Spoofing 4 years ago, hacker had denied illegality of accessing car wash operation messages, deemed to be the biggest corruption case in history evolving around state-owned oil company Petrobras. 2 years ago, after 7 years of running, Brazil shut down car wash anti-corruption squad. Brazil's ex-president Carlos Bolsonaro is vaccinated against COVID-19 before traveling to Italy. Show emails 2 years ago, Brazil's Bolsonaro said he will not be vaccinated against COVID-19. 3 months ago, Brazil's police raided Bolsonaro home in fake vaccine cards case.
Elon Musk has been chatting up Putin while aiding Ukraine, Musk told Pentagon. At the start of the year, SpaceX limited Starlink use for drones during the war, as in the last year. Musk's SpaceX said it can no longer pay for critical satellite services in Ukraine, asked Pentagon to pick up the tab while considering pulling plug on Ukraine's access to Starlink internet. In the last month, Pentagon set to buy Starlink terminals for Ukraine.
Bradley Cooper says 19-year sobriety past addiction made it easier to play a Star is Born character. Lionsgate reinstates mask mandate in parts of Santa Monica office following COVID outbreak.
Good Burger 2 drops first teaser for Paramount Plus sequel starring Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell. Blue Beetle director Ángel Manuel Soto to direct buddy comedy The Wrecking Crew at MGM. Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa join the team. Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato split from manager Scooter Braun. Fear Festival founder Billy McFarland is selling tickets for Fyre Festival 2, a relaunch.
New Texas law will require drunken drivers who kill parents to pay child support. Israel to raise smoking age to 21 and ban disposable vapes. Mexico announces 13 new protected areas in 6 states of Baja California, Baja California Sur, Sinaloa, Guerrero, Quintana Roo, Oaxaca, of which 6 national parks and 7 flora and fauna protection areas, totaling 17,918 hectares. Mexico now has 200 federal protected natural areas. After an ant and a spider, Harrison Ford now has a Peruvian snake named after him. French get royal nod to rename La Tauque, seaside spot as Paris Plage Airport after Queen Elizabeth II.
Saudi border guards killed hundreds of Ethiopian migrants. Human Rights Watch says they fired on us like rain at the Yemen-Saudi border. Australia's ruling Labour Party passes motion supporting Irish reunification, and Ireland's Sinn Féin welcomes support for United Ireland from Australia's Labour Party.
Indians are spending 1/5 of waking time on social media, OTT and online gaming, 194 minutes a day on social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook and X. Bijuli Prasad, India's oldest captive elephant, dies at 89 in Assam Tea Garden in Sonitpur, Tokyo, aiming to eliminate areas congested with the wooden houses.
Simona Halep out of US Open field with doping suspension. Venus Williams withdraws from Cleveland event with injury.
Sha'Carri Richardson wins women's 100 meters in World Championship record 10.65 seconds. U.S. State Department approves possible sale of Apache AH-64A helicopters to Poland for $12 BLN. 2 months prior, U.S. approved $15 billion in Patriot and missile defense upgrades for Poland. Wagner Group leader says that he is in Africa. He recorded a video from the desert. Wagner making Africa even more free, says Prigozhin in first post-rebellion video. Russia turns to Kazakhstan as it desperately tries to avoid a conscription that could infuriate the population. Last year, Russians been reported fleeing draft, straining Kazakhstan's services, diplomacy. Nicaragua President Daniel Ortega reportedly allowing Russian military to establish bases, cruise missile batteries in Nicaragua. Last year, Nicaragua authorized entry of Russian troops on its territory.
Trump given bond for first time in Georgia RICO election interference case, and bond set for $200,000 in Fulton County, known as Notorious Jail. Trump says he will surrender at an Atlanta jail Thursday in Georgia election interference case. Also, Trump has already recorded his debate night counter-programming interview with Tucker Carlson, sources say.
Major generic drug companies Teva, Glenmark fined $255 million by DOJ to resolve price-fixing charges and divest key cholesterol drug at the center of their conspiracy. Opioid epidemic overwhelming Virginia's foster care system with children of addicts. Meta threatens to fire workers for return-to-office infractions in leaked memo, with new in-person time policy. Recently, Amazon and Zoom were the latest giants ended the work-from-home mandate.
Tesla accused of stealing Cybertruck catbed design from Taiwanese family-run company, as Taipei local firm cries foul over Tesla cardboard catbed. Recently, Tesla's new merchandise, a Cybertruck-inspired catbed, became only available in China. Scientists using China's rover map 1,000 feet of hidden structures deep below the dark side of the moon.
Pentagon set to allow calculator use on military entrance exam. As recruiting slumps, Beijing claims Chinese ministry official is CIA recruit. Second arrest China lays at feet of U.S. spy agency in a month. Ancient antibodies can be purified from 800-year-old medieval human teeth. Hookworms successfully prevent type 2 diabetes in human trial. COVID-19 boosts risks of health problems 2 years later. Giant study of U.S. veterans says. U.S. VA's another research from last year spells out COVID's down-the-road risks for cardiovascular and mental health.
Iconic voice of Mario, Charles Martinet steps down after 27 years. Nintendo confirms, moving into the role of Mario ambassador. Microsoft pleased with Hi-Fi Rush success, plans to reinvest in Tango Gameworks.
Putin's advisor says U.S. is using brainwashing to make gay Ukrainian super soldiers, and compares Ukraine's military to Sparta, unified through gay sex. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, gave 17 nonprofits $97 million in the first half of 2023, on the path to billion-dollar pledge. Chinese e-commerce giants pivot to selling inexpensive goods. WSJ reports China's 40-year economic boom ended. Heatwave pushes 0-degree line to record high in Switzerland. Chile floods force mass evacuations after torrential rains.
Saudi Arabia discusses defense cooperation with Russia, China, Pakistan and Iran. Recently, Iranian defense officials met in Moscow. A tanker believed to hold sanctioned Iran oil starts offloading near Texas despite Tehran's threats. Ford's recall of Mustang Mach-E's in 2022 is under investigation by feds after complaints persist.
The VW T-Roc Cabrio outsold the Miata to be Europe's best-selling convertible. Total of hybrid and full EV sales gather momentum, making up over half of UK vehicle sales for Q1 2023.
Somalia bans TikTok, Telegram and 1x bet over horrific content, misinformation. New Zealand crypto exchange assets meltdown. Liquidators first report finds $6.3 million missing.
Mexico president attacks Reuters report on narco remittances, about how Mexican narcos use remittances services to wire U.S. drug profits back home. Guatemala's anti-corruption candidate Bernardo Arevalo wins presidency in landslide vote.
Boston Bruins sign Alex Chiasson to professional tryout agreement. Philadelphia Flyers hockey sign defenseman Oliver Bonk to a 3-year entry-level contract. Chile launches FOSSAT Delta satellite to enhance border monitoring and climate assessment, with U.S. Space Force support. In the recent months, first U.S. Space Force SDA Space Domain Awareness site had been set up in Chile. China to offer more scholarships for Malaysian students in Republic's varsities, says Ambassador. Canada's federal government considering a cap on international students to ease housing pressure, says Infrastructure Minister Sean Fraser.